Hello, this is Reverend Dr. Angelia. And today I'm doing a little something different. Normally I do support group, just by typing in things. But I think, if you follow any of my other stuff, my computer decided to die on me again. And so I'm doing this on the laptop. And it doesn't have the proper spacing where I can type. So I just decided to go ahead and do this in video form. And then maybe you all be more interested in commenting. Who knows? It's a support group. We're there to support each other. So the first thing I always do in support group is read a poem or some information that I've gotten from somewhere, to help us out. So this is called A Shadowed Existence is How I Must Live. Afraid and thin, spread out on the land. Buttery yellow film on brown toast. Can't admit to the burnt parts. Don't want to talk about them. Don't want to. Eventually the black edges will wear off. Feelings won't come back full force. Great expectations do go flat. Half measures will do if I want to live. Just that simple. Karen. Learn to live with a size 3 life. Manage a thin cloth instead of corduroy. Notice the fine lines. Open for the moment, near the seam. Put what's left there. Shore it up. Quiet thoughts. Quit running. Requires a lot of training. Straining. To lie in the flat. Unable to be. Very much you. Worried always. Expecting the worst. Settle for less. You may be thin the rest of your life. 0 is last. Plenty of time then for that. And that was by Karen Duquette. And then I read some support group risk and benefits. There's a whole handout when I was doing support groups in person at different places around town. But, here lately I'll just give you, a paragraph. Group can give you a high or low feeling. Both are normal reactions. Group high may fall into a low when you can live your new convictions in group, but not so much yet in your everyday life. That is normal. You may receive praise in group for changing and support and positive feedback for taking steps to live your new convictions. But in your home life, you may meet with resistance or antagonism for changing. People like familiar patterns, and kids especially don't like change. Feeling depressed at home and ready to conquer the world in group is a real challenge for some people. And if that is for you, you just got to keep working on that. You just got to keep working on it until you can not only talk your talk, until you can walk your walk. Okay, so here's today's Survivors of Abuse Support Group information and topics. Support group expectations. If you're a new member, welcome. You can share if you want to on your first time, but it's not necessary. You can listen. Remember to share your own honest opinions and reactions here. Use information that you glean here to reach out in your life constructively. Recognize each other's uniqueness and support each other emotionally. Define your goals for this and your other life experiences, because it's all up to you. You get out of life what you put into life. Share and discuss any animosity that is building up, because it's an important thing. This is why most fights happen. This is, how these things start. If you have animosity, if someone gave you a bad feeling, they made you angry or sad or whatever, you are okay to say, hey, what you said just upset me, And then usually we'll talk about it and it'll calm down. That's how people deal with these things. But if you let animosity build up, at some point, you're going to explode. And then, that's when bad things can happen. We will go around, we're not going to go around the room here, are we? But anyway, we can take turns sharing a video or comment or whatever. You may invite anyone that you want to this group. And some people have had a problem, adding people or whatever. So I might have to add them. It just depends on your, system that you're running. From what I understand, Facebook acts different on different systems. So, just make sure they're okay with that if they want to be added to the group. If you have any poems or stories that you would like to share, like the one that I just shared from a person in another group that I was a part of, a while back. And yes, they were okay to be done public. Please feel free to share them. You can type them or you can make a video, whatever. Remember that group is not a cure for any conflicts in your life. You will still need to recognize, admit, and work on resolving them. Everyone is different, but we can work through our differences if we show each other understanding and respect. Goes back to that golden rule thing. Treat others how you'd like to be treated. Group is just like anything else in life. You get out of it what you put into it. I think we touched on that a little earlier. In this group, I ask that you share, listen, and respect. Everyone has feelings. It's how we express them that can cause us trouble. Complaining about a problem never solved it. Only by recognizing a problem, admitting it, researching or thinking of possible ways to solve the problem, and then implementing those possible solutions, will you ever solve a problem. Relationships are a two-way street. If you fear intimacy, you may show lack of immediacy or falseness to others to protect yourself. Work on lessening the fear of others by getting out and experiencing others. Not everyone is out to hurt or use you. Find the people who are loving and supportive and cultivate those relationships which will flower and bring fruit in your life. Pull out the weeds, or just accept that that is what they are in your life's garden. Because sometimes we have relatives or best friends we came up with since, elementary school, and we know they're kind of weeds in our life. But sometimes, you just don't want to cut someone out that, is someone you have a relationship, like a parent or a sibling. So if they're pretty much driving you crazy, you just have to admit, okay, that's what they are. I'll deal with them, in the way I'll deal with them. I'm not going to let them, come down on me and make my life miserable, because there has to be boundaries there. So no one can do that to you. Because basically, how you allow people to treat you is how they're going to treat you. There's a saying that goes, you teach people how to treat you. That's not always the case. There are people, who have their own little motives and things. But in general, that's kind of true. Write down any self-exploration revelations and share them with the group. You may help someone else with your insights. Sometimes fear keeps us wanting. I gotta turn page. See, it's all typed out on this neat little thing here. From when I was out doing groups in the community. Fear keeps us from wanting to do a thing, but then, or let me rephrase that. Fear keeps us wanting to do a thing, but then we don't actually do it. Work on bringing the things that you want into your life. And bring them into your life. Don't live for someday. Someday. I did that for years. Someday, I'm going to have this. I'm going to do this. Well, I finally realized, hey, life is short. Someday might not come. So I'm going to start living my life now. To heck with everybody else and what they want of me. I'm living my life now. And that's what you need to do. Of course, you need to take your responsibility seriously if you have children and, you have to work and all that fun stuff that we do in life. But, live your life. Don't let other people tell you what your life should look like. You know the life you want to live, and it's your job to live it. Realize that fear is normal and hardwired into your brain. It is. But it is an animal instinct. And as a higher thinking human, you can overcome it if you keep working at it. We're wired with, I'm sure everyone's heard the fight or flight instinct. That's wired into us, So when situations get a little tense, we start having that thought, am I going to have to fight? Am I going to have to run? Get away from this mess? Just think. Put your brain into gear. And I know that's hard, but you can take a step back, take a breath, and start thinking, Sometimes hurt keeps what we believe inside. And we only show others a veneer of who we are. And I know survivors of abuse, that is a thing. We fear rejection. We fear being laughed at. So, we put this nice veneer on that we think other people want to see. And that's not who we really are. And then we go home and we're empty because we live this life with this veneer or this mask on. And that's not who we are, And then we come home, and some people are lucky enough to be able to flick the switch and be who they are at home, but not a lot of people. So again, you need to work on being yourself. Don't be who you think people want to see you be, because then that's not your life you're living. That's the projection of what they think you should be that you're living. We can overcome that too by socializing more. Get out and meet people. Not now, because we're all in the COVID, quarantine. But after it's over. Excuse me. Sometimes having received bad attention can cause us to diminish ourselves for fear of being bullied, made fun of, or not accepted. Be yourself, and the right people will love the real you. Okay, today's topics. When you listen to others, do you listen fully? Sometimes our minds do wander, but when we catch that happening, we should stop it and bring our focus back to the here and now. And that's something I see a lot of people do. You'll be talking or whatever. They've already like trying to surmise what you're trying to say, or they've already moved on to something else when you opened your mouth to give them an answer. I gave them half an answer and they didn't even let you finish your answer, and that's their mind, working overtime. And listen to what people are actually saying to you. The E.F. Hutton commercial, when he talks to people, listen, that's how you should be with everyone else. Let them finish their sentence, wait for a pause, then talk to them. And you'll just see how much better your conversations and your relationships with people can become. Excuse me. Good listening cements relationships. Practice listening fully to the people you engage with for the next few weeks and see how it improves your relationships. We hate it, and so does everyone else. It's butting in. Butting in shows that you do not respect the person who is speaking. You disagree with them so much that you cannot allow them to continue. You have to stop them to make your point. That is also childish and selfish. Listening fully requires that we do not butt in. Some big business executives and salespeople will stop you right there to rattle you and try to get the outcome that they want because they're taught that butting in is disconcerting and it puts people off balance and makes them easier to manipulate. So, for the next few weeks, practice listening fully and not butting in. No matter how strongly you feel that you need to correct or stop the person who is speaking. Respectfully wait and make your point when they stop. That's common courtesy. Problem solving. Have you ever been talking to a friend? Then they suddenly stop you and start telling you what you need to do to solve your problem? I think we all have. Men are notorious for trying to solve problems. This leads to many arguments in relationships when one person is just venting and the other tries to solve the problem for them. Not every problem needs solving, and when a friend vents to us, we may intend to be helpful by telling them what we think they should do. But we aren't them and may not be able to see fully the whole picture. So unless anyone specifically asks us our opinion on how to proceed in a situation in their life, we should just listen and allow them to vent and decompress. They may have just wanted someone to listen. And by butting in and problem solving, you have discounted their experience. For the next few weeks, try to listen without problem solving, unless specifically asked for your problem solving opinions. Acceptance. We all crave it. How great would it be to have everyone we meet accept us unconditionally? That'd be pretty awesome, huh? But in reality, everybody is different and has different experiences, opinions, and likes. So when ours differs from theirs, and it will sometimes, we are not accepted for who we are. Good friends will understand that we are all different. I'm going to turn my page here. And should be allowed to be who we are. So if someone's telling you, no, that's wrong. No, that's your opinion is wrong. Your opinion can't be wrong. That's your opinion. But, people who are really caring about you allow you to be who you are. They don't tell you, oh, well, try it. You'll like it. Keep trying it. No, just be who you are. Anyone who tries to change you to be more like them is narcissistic. Anyone who actively makes fun of or bullies you because you are different from them is no friend of yours and should be pulled out of your life garden like the weed that they are. Or, like I said, if there's someone you have to deal with on a regular basis and you know they're a weed, just say, they're a weed. And just let it go. Bullying should be reported to the closest authority, because if they are doing it to you, they will be doing it to others. And, this is for younger people, or, if you're in a company, you can go to your boss and say, hey, so-and-so is treating me like this, and I've had enough. Have you ever been picked on or bullied? And you can answer that by a video or in the comments. Rejection. We all hate that. When someone rejects you, they are either immature and can't accept you for who you are, or the differences are so great between you and them that they cannot reconcile the two on either a spiritual, mental, or emotional plane. That's why we have different religions and schools of thought. If someone rejects you, the best thing to do is to move on. It took me a long time to learn that. You will never make this person love or accept you, and trying to only brings grief to you and possibly a restraining order. Have you ever been rejected? How did it make you feel? And you can answer by a video or in the comments. Expressing feelings. We all have feelings, but we all express them differently. Some people keep things inside, whereas others explode like a volcano. When we express our feelings, we should do so honestly, but safely. If you are perceived as a danger to yourself or others, you can be arrested for that. When expressing feelings, be as calm as you can and try to talk about the action of the person and not the person themselves. No human is good or bad 100% of the time, but we do make good and bad choices. Do your best to tell the other person how their actions made you feel. Labeling them as mean in our hurt is not productive. But telling them how their actions made us feel can possibly make them understand our hurt and create empathy between us. However, if the person is a socio or a psychopath, they will not care how they made you feel by their actions, and when that is revealed, it's time to find the nearest exit and make use of it. Hurting others without remorse escalates without proper intervention and treatment. Has the way you express your feelings ever caused you problems? Has the way another expressed their feelings towards you caused you problems? And I'm sure, of course, for all of us, it has. So you can answer by video or in the comments, whatever you want to do. Couching. Sometimes people are so afraid of being like the monsters in their lives who hurt them, they couch their own opinions so that they don't offend others. And I was pretty good at that. I eventually got better where I could express myself without not getting too upset. But I didn't want to be, an angry, hostile person, like some of the people that I know. This is not living your authentic life. You have the right to your feelings and opinions as much as the next person. By couching your true beliefs to not offend, you are not being authentic in your relationships. And you will eventually be found out and possibly labeled fake. Have you ever couched or bit your tongue to fit in? Were there any repercussions from that? And I'm sure we all have. And you can, make a video about that or leave a comment in the comments. Do something here, folks. This is not a voyeur sport. This is a support group. Remember to be good to yourself and others along your path. Practice what you've learned here to grow and nurture your life's garden. Until next time, I'm signing off, your facilitator, Reverend Angelia Swartz-Coleman, PhD.